Hi friends, today we are going to solve frequency queries from the dictionary and Hashmap subsection of the interview preparation kit. So the given problem statement is that you are given two queries. Each query is of the form of two integers described below. 1. Insert x in your data structure. 2. Delete one occurrences of y from your data structure if present. And 3. Check if any integer is present whose frequency is exactly z. If yes, print 1, else no. So this is the basic idea of the problem. So in case of 1, then you have to insert the x which is present x in your data structure. 2, if that value is present, then we have to remove one occurrences or one frequency of it occurrences from our data structure. And 3 is basically pretty much this would be checking whether that means how many number of times that uh, for example, 3z, so it will check if any integer is present whose frequency, for example, if 2 is present and 2 occurs twice in our list of operation, then we will check if 3 2 is present. So is there any integer whose occurrences is exactly 2? And if it's yes, then it's 1, else no. This is the basic idea. So to do that, first, as you could easily understand, this is a dictionary problem. So we won't be using list, we'll be using dictionaries because dictionary is way faster. So let's do that. And one more column, which is basically for the answers. Reason for it is we won't be printing the answers because, for example, whenever 3 is present, you have to print 1 or 0. But we don't want to print it in the function definition, but we want to return a value to our main code. So here we want to return that value. So this is the basic idea. That's why you'd be storing those 1 and 0s in a list and we're returning that list to our main function. This is the basic idea. Now let's do it. For each in inquiries, so first now we are going to check for the first operation for 1x, insert x in your data structure. So to do this, we will first check if each of 0 is equal to 1. So you are checking that whether the query that is being given, whether the first character or the first value of it is 1 or not. So if it's 1, that basically means that we need to insert x in our data structure. So in this way, it would be distinguishing between 1, 2, and 3. So once we have done that, we'll be checking whether that instance, if each of 1. So we have checked the value 1, and now we're going to check what's the value of the x. So if x each of 1 not in dict x dot keys, check for the spelling errors. So if that value is not present in the dictionary, then we would be basically creating a key and assign a value of 1. Each of 1 equal equal to 1. In else condition, if that value is already present in the dictionary, means for example, if 1 occurs twice in our list of queries, then at the first instance we have already assigned a value of 1. In the next case, when there is no need to assign that value, so we will be finding that 1 and increase this frequency counts to +1. So dictates each of 1 plus equal to 1 elif 2 if each of 1 keys. So in the next case, we'll be deleting one occurrences from a data structure. So in that case, we'll be checking. Okay, let's just indent it properly. So for the next case, we are checking whether the operation starts with 2. So 2 means delete one occurrence from the data structure. So once we have got it 2, we'll be checking if that value is present in dict.keys. If it's present, if the value is present there, and we also need to, okay, can I think, okay, now we'll be checking what is the value of it. So what's the current value of that each column. So we'll be checking whether it is more than 0 or not. So if it's 0, then there is no point of assigning a value. And if it's more than 0, we'll be basically subtracting -1 from it. If it's already 0, then there is no, we cannot subtract. No, the number of occurrences cannot be -1. It should be 0 or more. That's the basic idea. So dictx is actually pretty straightforward problem if we look at it. There's some operations that has to be performed and some mistakes. Just be careful with the indentation. So dictx h.1 minus equal to 1. And at the last part, at the else part, which took me a lot of time to debug, because I will tell you what's the issue here. So let's start with this one. So if each of 1 in, so earlier we were finding the keys, here we would be finding the values. So to do this, if dictate dot values, I think you need to if anybody is doing this problem, try to understand the difference between keys and the values in dictionary. So for example, let's take an example. That's 1 and its value is 2, then 2 which value is 3 or 4. Okay, this is our dictionary. So number of keys present here, if we just write dictx.keys, then it would be 1, 2, which would give us a list value. And similarly, if we give dictx.value, then its value would be 2, 4. So that's the basic idea. So you'd be checking whether that value means what, if you could look at the query, so you need to check whether that integer is present whose frequency is exactly z. So if we have to find any integer whose value is matching with the z, and if it's there, then we'd be appending our answer dot append 0, else answer dot append, sorry, I just done a mistake. So if the value is present, it would be appending 1. If the value is not present, it would be appending 0. And at last, we would be returning our answer, which would be get printed in our main function. Let's run the code. Pretty simple. It passed all the public test cases successfully. Let's go for the hidden test cases. As you can see, it's passing all the test cases, but for the 11th case, I think it will fail. So for this, it's saying that time limit exceeded. So there, I've tried to find out many ways to do it, but we're not been able to. I think the sheer number of values that is present here is causing an issue. So to deal with it, I have just found a kind of trick way of doing it. So it should be basically checking if each of 1, the value of it is greater than 10 to the power 6. So if it's greater than that, we'll not be doing anything. We'll be basically appending our answer with 0 because we believe that is not feasible for our code to check. So in this case, it worked, but I would say it's more of a trick rather than solving it properly. But that's why if you guys find any better way of doing and solving this problem, please comment below. I think that would be really, really helpful. And as always, thanks for watching, and please comment below, share your feedbacks, or maybe some better way of solving the same problem with a better time complexity or more simple solution. Both of those are welcome because here it takes a lot of effort and time to find a simpler solution. So anything which is simple is going to be hard to produce. So people think that simple solutions are kind of boring. I believe the simple people who produce simple solutions are the most smartest while writing the code. So that's why my effort of solving the problem is always trying to find the most simplest way of doing it or trying to solve it. And as always, thanks for watching and stay tuned.